On the night of October 18th, a series of intense missile strikes by the Russian armed forces targeted several regions across Ukraine. Explosions were reported in various areas, including Rivne, Vinnytsia, Pavlograd, Kyiv, Khmelnytskyi, Chasiv Yar, and Kherson. This wave of attacks caused significant destruction, and it's important to understand the impact these strikes had on military infrastructure in these regions. Before we dive into the specifics of the targets hit, I want to bring your attention to some urgent developments from the Chasiv Yar front, which are unfolding as we speak. In recent hours, Ukrainian war correspondents have revealed troubling news from Chasiv Yar. According to their reports, Russian troops successfully breached Ukrainian defensive lines along the Siverskyi Donets-Donbass water channel, a key natural barrier that had been holding back Russian advances. What makes this breakthrough particularly alarming is that it didn't happen in just one location. It occurred simultaneously in multiple areas. As of October 19th, Russian assault units have already begun pushing forward into several districts of Chasiv Yar, marking a significant escalation in the battle for this strategically important city. This isn't just speculation from the battlefield. Official sources in Ukraine are confirming these developments as well. The Ukrainian military publication Deep State, known for its close ties to the Ministry of Defense, has acknowledged that Russian forces have indeed made progress in Chasiv Yar. Despite fierce resistance from Ukrainian soldiers, it appears that Russian troops have managed to capture part of the Oaby microdistrict, a key area within the city. This admission suggests that the situation on the ground is rapidly changing, and it underscores the growing pressure on Ukrainian defenses in this region. However, when examining reports like these, it's important to remember that Ukrainian sources often downplay the extent of Russian advances. Independent military journalists are now confirming that the Russian breakthrough in Chasiv Yar is even more widespread than initially reported. Not only have Russian forces penetrated defenses in the eastern part of the city, but they have also advanced from the south. On October 18th, Russian troops achieved a deep incursion into Ukrainian-held territory on the southern flank and reached the city's refractory plant, an industrial site of strategic importance. Recent footage circulating online shows Russian flags and victory banners proudly displayed on the rooftops of several buildings that have fallen under Russian control within the plant complex. As these events unfold, Ukrainian military experts are raising serious concerns about the handling of the situation in Chasiv Yar. Many are pointing fingers at the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine, particularly over the decision to withdraw the 80th Separate Air Assault Brigade from the city and redeploy them to the Kakhovka region. This decision, according to critics, has left a significant gap in the defenses around Chasiv Yar, which the Russian forces have now exploited. These experts fear that this may only be the beginning of a series of major setbacks for Ukrainian forces in this area, and they predict that the situation will continue to deteriorate in the coming days. The developments in Chasiv Yar are also drawing attention from Western analysts and military experts. One of the more notable voices is Julian Rupka, a German journalist known for his critical stance toward Russia. Rupka has admitted that Russian troops have successfully breached the Ukrainian defenses west of the Siverskyi Donets-Donbass water channel, a critical line that had been holding Russian forces at bay for some time. According to his assessment, the loss of control over this water channel marks a significant shift in the balance of power in the region. With the water channel no longer acting as a defensive line, the Ukrainian army is now vulnerable to further advances by Russian forces. Western military analysts are sounding the alarm over what this breakthrough could mean for the broader conflict. The city of Chasiv Yar occupies a strategic position on elevated ground, which gives whoever controls it a significant advantage in terms of visibility and artillery range. From Chasiv Yar, Russian troops could potentially control vast areas of territory stretching all the way from Kostiantynivka to the Sloviansk-Kramatorsk agglomeration. Some experts are already predicting that if Chasiv Yar falls entirely into Russian hands, neighboring Kostiantynivka could also come under Russian control within just a matter of weeks. The fall of these key locations would dramatically shift the dynamics of the war and place Ukraine in a much more difficult position as it tries to hold back Russian advances. These recent developments highlight the rapidly changing nature of the conflict in Ukraine and the increasing pressure on Ukrainian forces to maintain their positions in critical regions like Chasiv Yar. The coming days will likely see more intense fighting as both sides vie for control over this strategic area. Russian war correspondents have reported new developments in the ongoing conflict in Chasiv Yar. They provided more detailed updates indicating that Russian troops have successfully entered the heart of the Obliterates micro-district. This breakthrough is significant as it allowed Russian forces to advance all the way to Shalov Street, a key location in the area. As a result of this intense offensive, several high-rise buildings in the micro-district have been abandoned by Ukrainian forces and now lie in what is called the gray zone. This term refers to areas where neither side has full control, but Ukrainian soldiers were forced to retreat due to the overwhelming pressure from Russian troops. During the night of October 18th, an important operation took place when Khmelnytskyi paratroopers from Russia's 98th Guards Airborne Division managed to break through the defensive lines of the Ukrainian army in Chasiv Yar. This sudden and fierce attack took the Ukrainian soldiers, especially those from the 24th Brigade, by surprise. According to reports, the sight of Russian paratroopers inside their own dugouts shocked the Ukrainian forces. The intensity of the assault left only one Ukrainian soldier, Oleksandr Palyuk, alive after the attack. Following his capture, Palyuk made some unexpected statements, claiming that he never intended to fight against the Russians. He expressed that he had always admired Russia and had been waiting for the chance to surrender. However, his actions raised doubts about his true intentions. Despite claiming that he wanted to give himself up, he destroyed a tablet containing important maps and secret information before surrendering. This contradictory behavior added an element of mystery to his statements, leaving unanswered questions about his role in the conflict. On the same night, Russia launched a large-scale missile attack targeting multiple military installations across Ukraine. These strikes were part of a broader strategy aimed at weakening Ukrainian defense capabilities. Regions such as Rivne, Vinnytsia, Pavlohrad, Kyiv, Khmelnytskyi, and Kherson were all hit by Russian ballistic missiles. In Rivne, Vinnytsia, and Pavlohrad, the missiles struck crucial logistical hubs, which are essential for supplying Ukrainian forces with the resources they need to continue fighting. The attacks in Kyiv, particularly in the northwestern part of the city, were especially severe, with independent monitoring services recording a significant number of explosions. The strikes were focused on fuel and weapons depots, damaging Ukraine's military infrastructure. In the Khmelnytskyi region, as well as Chasiv Yar, Russian ballistic missiles also targeted military air bases. These attacks further intensified the pressure on Ukrainian forces, making it harder for them to maintain their defensive operations. Meanwhile, in the Kherson region, specifically in the settlement of Ivanivka, powerful explosions were reported. What stood out about these strikes was that no air raid alerts were sounded, and Ukraine's air defense systems were completely silent during the attack. Witnesses reported seeing at least 2 cruise missiles flying silently over the area before the explosions occurred, which caused massive destruction in Ivanivka. Later, Russian military experts, based on information from sources within the Russian Defense Ministry, revealed that these attacks had been carried out using the latest Kh-69 stealth cruise missiles. These advanced missiles destroyed a highly classified command post in the Kherson region. The command post had reportedly been used by both Ukrainian and NATO officers to coordinate military operations in the Zaporizhzhia and Kherson regions. In a show of technological superiority, the missiles were launched by Su-57M 5th generation fighter jets equipped with cutting-edge AL-51F1 engines. These jets managed to strike their target while flying over the Black Sea, marking a significant achievement for the Russian forces. The destruction of this command center dealt a major blow to Ukrainian and NATO operations in the region. Thank you for staying with us. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to subscribe for more.